Yo, yo, yo. As y'all can tell from the title, we're here to talk some My Hero Academia. As we all know, My Hero Academia has definitely been one of the more popular series in not just Jump, just in general. Um, and of course, because of that, a lot of people just like hone in on the tiny things where he does here and there that they either give him a lot of passes due to the popularity, or they give extra like flack on him because of the popularity. It goes both ways, and I'm not even sure why I fall in. But yeah, I wanted to do a discussion like this relatively. Like I wanted to do it eventually, but I wasn't sure when. But at the last chapter, and by last chapter, actually let me check because I know like scans are probably out by now. But 370 after 370, there was one thing that happened that kind of like it's becoming a bigger problem over time, and I was like, yeah, let me just get this off my chest now. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just getting started. So yeah, so let's start with 370. Where am my problem at? So 370 again, it was a fine chapter. Nothing wrong with it. It did this thing, giving more attention to Anima and Shoji, characters that we don't see at all, characters people probably don't even like. But you have to start somewhere. You don't just start taking characters off of it. I mean, some people do, but like this could make you like Anima, or this could make you like Shoji. I mean Shoji, depending on where it goes. Now, my general issue with what Hori does sometimes is that he basically suffers from like I don't word this properly, but like he would either not flow his dialogue properly, and by flow I mean like what they're saying isn't really matching what you're seeing, right? It's like you would see something, but Hori would say like what he wants you to see, but you're not seeing what he thinks you're seeing. It's a bit weird, but basically it's kind of inconsistent. Like the dialogue is either inconsistent with the conversation, like someone will be talking about A, and instead of responding with like what you respond with A, they'll just like say something completely different that is still right, like it's correct, but it's not the right thing. So yeah, it's just a bit confusing, but I'm gonna just use the example of what I'm talking about in the chapter. So like in 370, right? Um, Again, I like the concept of the chapter. Heteromorphs has been suffering oppression due to how they look like, right? Spinner and all the people that like look like bugs and animals and shit. They're like, oh, y'all not human, like y'all out here looking like bugs. Fuck y'all. That's pretty much where it's going with it. So they're saying that um, they actually like wake up in the morning like fearing their. I mean, yeah. Let me just quote them. If only like wait. Yeah, if only I weren't born looking like this with this quirk. Have you people ever thought of that? No, have you people ever thought that even once? No, you people are no heroes of ours. You're not our heroes. That's important, not ours. No, you people are no hero of ours. Instead, it'll be him, talking to Spinner, who leads us to prominence in society. So keep in mind, go back to that quote, right? He's not saying, and then there's even a picture here that says Spinner speaks for us. I'm not going to show it on YouTube because I already got a strike before, so I ain't doing that no more. But they were like, yeah, Spinner speaks for us. Um, so yeah, so their main issue is that the current heroes, cannot relate to their problems, right? So it's like they're saying that why would I follow these like human looking heroes when they don't know what I go through? I go through so much oppression, depression, mental issues due to like how I'm treated in this society. And there are people that look like me and like suffer due to me, and he wants better for my people, but yet you want us to be supporting these guys that not only I won't say to contribute to it, but they do indirectly benefit from the oppression of like these heteromorphs. So yeah, so that's the main issue. It's sort of like, all right, this is our issue. Heroes cannot relate to us. Spinner can, we're on his team, yada yada yada. And then Shoji, who's also a heteromorph, right? So I'm just like, okay, this is where Shoji kind of like does this thing where I won't say he counters them, but he, like he says, I'm a heteromorph too, and it just kind of shows him that there's a different way to do things than just, riot in the streets, right? Let me let me read you what Shoji says. So first off, they're like, yeah, Spinner, our rep, they're still gassing on Spinner for being a heteromorph that knows how they knows what they go through. It's like, how freaking dare you? Kill the traitor being Anima and I think Shoji. Kill the traitor, crush the wannabe hero, and then die, monster. I'm pretty sure Shoji. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a flashback quote. But yeah, so there you go. It's just like Shoji's like, what's any of that got to do with attacking the hospital? Which is true. It's like they're attacking the hospital currently because of their oppression, and it's just like those. There's no correlation there. You don't have to attack this hospital because of your oppression. That's how he starts, right? Which there's no issue here. And then they were like, back in Jakku, we let me confirm exactly where that was because mm, Paranormal Liberation War. Okay, okay. So back in the Paranormal Liberation War, um, yeah, back in the Paranormal Liberation War. So okay, back in Jakku, the first thing the heroes did was take action to make sure that patients and staff were safe. Right? Very heroic thing to do. Like this is how heroes should be. Wars going on, they're just like, hey, fighting villains comes second. We going to make sure the people safe because that's what we're fighting for. We're gonna make sure the people safe, the patients safe, the staff safe. That is some good hero shit. And then he, after he says that was to take action to make sure the patients and staff were safe, he continues. He says, "But what about you guys? Go on, tell me. Do you have a plan here?" And then yeah, and then I'll kind of skip like the flashback. And he's like, "You better, because if not, I won't let this stand." And again, what Shorty said here, nothing wrong with it. Literally nothing wrong with it, right? But go back to the original argument that the villains had. The villains were saying that heroes could not relate to them. You know, they didn't have a good representative in like the heroes. Like they didn't have someone they could like relate to, someone that knew what they're going to, so they could like yeah. So they didn't really want to support heroes since again, heroes can't like understand how they feel. And then to counter that, Shoji talks about how heroic the heroes were at Jakku. But if you think about it, they never said the heroes were not heroic. Or they never said that like the heroes weren't doing hero shit. They were just saying that they can relate to heroes because heroes don't know the pain of being a heteromorph like Spinner does. Like Spinner knows, not the heroes. So like that counter Shoji just made is very irrelevant to like the actual problem. Because if Shoji says something like, "Oh, there are heteromorph heroes that care about the hero people or care about the people," y'all just don't know because y'all not, y'all not there. But I'm in UA. I'm an aspiring hero. And then maybe give some examples or some, or maybe Shoji was just like them, but he met a heteromorph hero that inspired him to like, be good, be great, that kind of thing. But instead, he brings up the um yeah, so he brings up how heroic they were in Jakku. And again, that has nothing to do with the problem. Like, they didn't say the heroes weren't heroic, but of course, Hori writes it in a way where, like, this is the counter to, like, what they said. And then they're most likely going to be like, oh, snap, Shoji's spitting. Oh my god, like, what do we do now? We got countered. Like, that kind of thing. When that's not really how it worked. Like, the conflict didn't really play out like that. So that's why I'm just like, it's kind of things like this that make like these kind of scenes fall flat, and that's why when he has these scenes where he wants to push these final characters to like a higher height, he would have like certain dialogue that kind of just like makes it not as powerful, and that also happened back in Class 1A and Class 1B with Kendo. I I never rated Kendo. Not saying I dislike Kendo or hated Kendo, but when I thought of my favorite My Hero characters, right, Kendo was never on Kendo wasn't in my head. But when I saw her performance in the fight of Momo, it was beautiful. She skyrocketed so high on my favorites. It was crazy. And then, like, let me tell y'all. So Kendo, Momo had a great plan on how to use it. Yoma, uh, like her whole entire squad, Invisible Girl, Yoma, Tokiyami, and her to like finesse Kendo. But Kendo had an even better plan to reverse finesse Momo, which was very impressive because Momo's plans tend to always work or tend to be like on the higher into the sexual portion. So for Kendo to have a plan that actually reverse finessed Momo as well as captured Ayoma, like I gave Kendo points for that Ayoma capture. She didn't capture him directly, but her plan was like the reason for it. And then not only that, but she separated Momo from the rest of the team so she can give them like more directions on where to go now. So like they have no more leader because she separated them. So now it's like Kendo as the leader versus Momo as the leader. Then Kendo 1v1s Momo and then wins the 1v1. So I'm like, damn. So you reverse finesse Momo, captured one of Momo's people, Ayoma, then you fought Momo head to head, then you beat Momo head to head, and then Kendo even and then after Momo lost, she tied herself to Kendo to at least make her slower. So like to give her team as much chance as they can to win. Because of course, if she didn't do that, Kendo still had max speed and all that, easy for her to get things done. But even while tied to a cannon, Kendo still took out Invisible Girl. So Kendo, and keep in mind, it was a 4v4, right? 4v4. So Kendo took out Invisible Girl, Momo, the leader, and her plan directly helped out take Ayoma. So that's basically 3 out of the 4 people Kendo kind of handled, right? And then I was very impressed. I was like, wow, Kendo, you are actually really fucking good. Like that was crazy. And then at the end of the fight, here comes Hori. They're just like, oh wow, Kendo, like, we won, yet the other Kendo's like, yeah, but I don't even feel like I won. Because even though, like, keep in mind what I just explained to you, right? Like how much Kendo did. She still didn't feel like she won because Momo used the lucky bag. Like I get what Hori's trying to do, right? Hori's basically like saying that just because Momo lost 0-4, she's not ass, right? Like she performed, she did her thing. So like don't look at the 0-4 scoreline and be like, oh, Momo's trash. Nah, she did good because XYZ. But the thing is, I feel like he took it way too far because Kendo has always been second to Momo because Momo's a mainer character than Kendo is, and this is not only did Kendo like win here, but she won dominantly, and then to not even give not even give Kendo like confidence on her win, because like you can still give a confident answer while also giving praise to Momo. Like Kendo talk about how much she trained for this, how much this means to her, this win, this W, and then be like, oh, but Momo definitely didn't make it easy. She's I had to really work for that. Like something just kind of gas up Momo, and then you can still keep that line of like Momo. Because like just make someone like Midnight say, because Midnight has a heavy Momo bias. That's like teacher student. She almost directly like trains her type. So if someone like Midnight was to say it, and that's like, oh, Kendo might have won, but Momo, yeah, that's the real hero. I can't wait to see her in the future. Nothing wrong with that. That's literally her teacher gassing her up. Makes sense. But for the winner to say, because we all know if Momo won, like if you flipped it, right? Momo took out Kendo. Momo took out like another one of Kendo's partners, and then Momo's plan helped out take another one of Kendo's partners. So Momo's like almost 3-4. She's like 2.5 for 4, right? She's not gonna say no. Oh, Kendo, I don't even feel like I won. Nah, she'll be gassed. You know what I'm saying? Hori would definitely write in a way where, of course, he would still make like Kendo not look like trash, but Momo's gonna be talking her shit, or she'll at least be like, yeah, like or there'll be people gassed up Momo. Oh wow, look at Momo, she went crazy. But instead of Kendo kind of getting that treatment, nah, and again, that was a scene that could have elevated Kendo a lot, or at least the ending could have, because I like Kendo did like improve as a character. Obviously, like it's not like what she did is gonna disappear, but it's the fact that it's the fact that that line at the end again made her mentally like go back, because there's no reason for her to still feel inferior to Momo. Momo didn't do that much. Like the lucky bag was cool, the cannon tying was cool, but there for no reason should I believe that Kendo should feel inferior because of that. Because the lucky bag just had mushroom spray for the mushroom quirk, night vision goggles. Like it's things that like a 10-year-old can think of, you know, and that's not like a slight to Momo because it's very effective. He's not like you need a super big brain strategy to like counter something. Some things, you know, like someone with light powers, you can just counter with sunglasses. It's not like you need like a humongous brain for that. But that shouldn't be seen as something like, oh man, mushroom spray for the mushroom girl? Genius. Like, I suck. Momo's way better. Like, I should not be getting that kind of vibe from the winner, you know, especially in a 4-0. Because when Bakugo won 4-0, Deku won 4-0, they were up. You know, they weren't on no, I barely won, bro. None of that. But when Kendo wins 4-0, she gotta, like, it gotta be Momo who basically won. And I know what's part of that. Momo fans will always bring that page up like everything else didn't happen. And again, that's what I'm talking about when I say that, like, what you see, like again, how what I described earlier, and I was just like how Kendo performed. Like for me, Momo's performance wasn't nearly as good. I'm not saying it was bad. I still felt Momo had a decent performance, but Kendo was just clear. But Hori's making it sound like Momo's was clear, even though Momo still lost, because that could still happen. The loser could still have a better performance or a performance that stands out more. You know, a good example would be like the Gara versus Rock Lee. Everyone brings that up. And Rock Lee, like people with how people talk, you would think Rock Lee won the fight because Rock Lee was just that impressive. Like he showed so much heart to like the viewers watching that they have to respect him, even if he lost. They're like, wow, yeah, Gara won, but Rock Lee though, wow, like Kishi didn't have to point out, oh, Lee worked so hard. Yeah, Gara won, but man, Lee or Gara didn't have to go like, oh, I won, but Lee, he was so strong. I felt like he didn't need all that. He just showed it through like just how crazy Lee popped off that fight. Everyone felt that yeah, Gara was good, but wow, Lee really made him work. He's cool. Like he could have won that route instead, but again, I didn't have that same feeling for Momo versus like Kendo, and yet he was saying, you know, regardless, again, like these teams, I'm not saying these teams are like holding the series back or nothing like that. Still think they're good scenes, but it's things like this that I feel like doesn't make him reach that next level. Because with the Shoji thing before, he's gonna treat that like counter Shoji said as like a proper counter to what they said, and that's just not true because it doesn't solve their problem of being oppressed. And of course, for the Kendo thing I just brought up, having Kendo do such a crazy performance that make her mentally, I won't say regress, but just lose that confidence, is not it. But yeah, with the recent arc, I feel like they set up the recent arc pretty well when it comes to like we have to fight this final boss. You know, I feel like what they had to do just to make it as even as possible against Shiggy was crazy. Like they really had to work. They had to make Monoma like copy quirks, use Eraserhead's quirk, flush out his eyes so Shiggy can use his quirks, and then Deku got teleported somewhere else. So we had to wait for Deku, and then now all these people had to stall Shiggy. Shiggy was just his base stats was going crazy. Like it was a lot to give you the feeling that like yeah, we cannot beat this guy. Like I think Hori set that up well. But I feel like a big thing that's missing in this arc is just Shigaraki's progress. I feel like as a character, Shigaraki is not increasing in quality. And I feel like he should, because like from what we've gotten from Shiki so far, right? It's like potential. It's like this guy could be one of the greatest villains. Honestly, you can still think currently he's one of the greatest. I'm not gonna really like complain or something like that. But yeah, like Shiki just thought, oh wow, in the future Shiki's gonna be crazy. Oh, in the future, wow, this setup is crazy. Shiki in the future is gonna be wow. Shiki, like that's kind of how people were seeing Shiki. But I think these days, man, like I don't know. I don't know if he already peaked, but like it's not like my love for Shiggy or my expectation for him is like getting higher. Like there's nothing that's really like pulling me anymore towards his character, and I think because like Shiggy used to be a villain that like lacked like a lot of things, and he was slowly learning and getting those things, but I feel like it just I don't know. I'm not exactly sure because again like even when he invaded in the like right before sports festival, right? He invaded UA. He had a 1v1 for Aizawa. I felt like that was a cool 1v1 to me. Like a little scuffle. Him counting like the seconds it takes Aizawa to blink. Then as soon as Aizawa's like hair like brush his eyes, he couldn't use his powers no more. Boom, activate his quirk, break his elbows. Like it's like tiny shit like that got me hyped. I'm like, damn. He's a smart dude. He knew that he can't just beat Aizawa straight on, so he's looking for weaknesses, stuff like that. Like I felt that was very cool. But the Shiggy now is more so like he's not even looking at these people like opponents, and of course that's supposed to be cool and hype. But it's always like a double-edged sword making your villains that like y'all are just bugs to me, y'all are maggots, y'all are just trash, that kind of thing. Because doing it like that, um, it it creates like doing it like that makes the oh sorry, I just gotta fix this up. Oh yeah. So doing it like that, I feel like makes the I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, because like when it eventually breaks, if Vin's just like you guys are all maggots to me, some mosquitoes, that corny ass shit. Y'all flies. I can barely touch yada yada yada. Eventually they're gonna hit him once, right? And then when that happens, what's their normal reaction? What? He hit me? What the like they just start panicking like they're a child. It's like, dude, have you not been in a fight before? Like you like getting hit should not be a problem. But like they get so scared when they get hit because again, they lived so long or like they're at a point in power where they can't even get touched. So they get so comfortable with that like status where they're just like, yeah, I'm untouchable. No one can touch me. And as soon as someone touches them again or is able to touch them, they start panicking, being scared. What? I could possibly lose. I'm like, dude, that's the point of a fight. Both parties could lose. And then it's just finding out what decides the winner. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the point of a fight. It's not that the fact that you can't lose. It's more so the hero could lose or the villain could lose. But while they're fighting, what makes the hero win or what makes the villain win? Like that's the interesting part. But like a villain that's like they don't even see it like that. It's more so, oh, I'm just so strong. No one can touch me. And then like they get touched and they're like, start panicking, getting scared. I'm like, dude, this is just corny. Like I am not being entertained right now. But yeah, it's like so yeah, Shiggy's right now they're slowly getting him hurt, stuff like that. I'm guessing he's gonna eventually get his quirks back, and then Deki uses his full power, all for one of quirks, yada yada yada. But again, yeah, I do think Shiggy as a character should improve. Like he should have been like inclining a bit in this arc, and then peaking, and then eventually being defeated. Because there's a good amount of times where like in the final arc or like the final part of like someone's like if someone's gonna die that arc, right? Like the character would like be on like a super incline to peak and then have that like blazing death of glory kind of thing. And yeah, I wanted Shiggy to be at his best in this arc. Like when I'm looking for Shiggy scenes to gas him up, like man, I wanna praise Shiggy right now. What chapter should I go? I want the chapters to be from this arc, the recent arc. But I'm thinking about it, I don't even know what I would even post to gas up Shiggy. You know what I'm saying? Like his fights with like Mario and them, it's like it's like you're just being the big boss doing shit. It's like like it's nothing really crazy. And also, I'm very scared of the whole like Tenko Shimura thing that they're trying to do or Shigaraki and stuff like that. Because of course, Deku saving Shigaraki is not an issue with me, but I I just don't know how they're viewing Shimura or they're viewing like Shiggy because AFO we know AFO is um he's a he like combined with Shiggy a bit, right? And because of that, there's some AFO and some Shiggy, but yeah, there's some AFO and there's some Shiggy, but I'm not sure how it really works. Just think of it like this, right? Let's say we call that concept like 12, right? We give it a number 12. And just like, so we know that this is 12, but we don't know how we get 12. It's like, how do we reach this point, or how does this work? Like, like you could be like, oh, and the thing is, I don't even feel like most people know, because I feel like there's so many different answers that are also correct. Because someone will be like this, right? Back to the 12 example. Someone will be like this, right? They'd be like, oh, Hori did 3 times 4. That's how he got 12. We're just like, oh, true? And someone else would be like, no, no, no. No, someone else would point once, you ask someone else, and then they'd be like, oh, I think he did 2 times 6. That's how he gets 12. And they just like, that works. Someone else, oh, I think he did 6 plus 6. That's how he got 12. You're just like, that also works. Okay. Oh, I think he did 1 times 12. That's how he got. It's like everyone's right, but no one knows like which one it is. Because again, AFO has a body in this arc. Like AFO has been in fights. He fought Endeavor. He fought Jiro, Tokiyami, Hawks. Like he's been in fights in this arc. Even reached his prime through the drug. And I think he's gonna go look for Shiggy now. And then Shiggy's also like in the arc. So like they're two separate entities, at least like as of right now. And I know AFO still got like some like awful one stuff in Shiggy right now. But yeah, but when Deku arrived, right? And the thing is, Mirio said to Shiggy that like you probably don't have friends, and Shiggy had like a mental breakdown because of that. And it's tiny things like this that just make me, I won't say dark points from Shiggy, because it's not like him caring about having friends. It makes him a worse character. But it's like, why? Like, what's the goal of doing this? Like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to say that he's just like imbalanced as a person? Like he's just not like solid. Like um there's a better word for this. He's like he's unstable, or he's unstable. Like he's just like an unstable character. Because if that's the case, then having like an unstable final villain that can't even maintain himself or his sanity is like, it's like we got a lot of those, and it's, I don't know, because I felt like Shiggy just having like using his head was one of like the biggest like, and it's not like he doesn't use his head no more. He definitely still uses his head, but man, I just don't know. Because what confused me, I thought I got it, but Deku pulled up, and Deku said, like he pulled up to Shiggy, right? Like he pulled up to Shiggy. I I'll go back to it so I can actually give like what's it called, a chapter number. Okay, yeah. So in chapter, I'll say the end of 367, because I just at 368. Wait for this to load. Yeah, all right. So I'm a directly Kodeku. Sorry about that, Lemillion. And it's Mirror's like save us until after we win this hero. Then Deku pauses for a bit. He's like, all for one. Is Shigaraki still in there? And then now I'm kind of like, so the person Mirio and them were fighting was all for one, not Shiggy? Or are they the same thing? Are they synonymous? Because like, because that was what, 367, right? I'm pretty sure if I go back to like, is it 364? Yeah, if I go back to 364, I know he's in 364, but I'm trying to find it. Okay, yeah. So in 364, page 8 out of 15, right? We see all for one, and he says like, yeah. So I intend to toward the future of the world. That's all I've ever wished for. Yada yada yada. Like he says this quote in 364. We see all for one's body. Like he's in his body. Like, like, and he's talking. But in 367, oh yeah, and then we move on to like Shiggy scenes in 365, 366, and 367. What we thought was just Shigaraki with maybe some All For One sprinkled in. Deku refers to him as just All For One, and then Shigaraki um responds as like he's not there, or like All For One, I guess, responds as is Shigaraki's not there because he's just like um yeah, they're like, really, that's your question? Tomorrow Shigaraki, you mean? No one by that name exists no more. No more. Not yeah. No one by that name exists no more. And then we see like the kid Shiki trying to break out. So all right. So from this, I'm guessing he means that like the kid Shigaraki, right? But my question is, why would we still refer to him as All For One instead of just like the normal Shigaraki? Because if it's like normal Shigaraki and Kid Shigaraki, and the Kid Shigaraki is the one you want to save, but why are you ignoring like the current Shigaraki? That's not All For One. Because it's not like he was All For One the entire series. Like he got that All For One thing. Like he was raised by All For One, but it's not like he got like the All For One fusion like the entire series. Like the Shiggy we see in the first volume, like that's still Shigaraki. And then up to Kamino and all that's still all Shigaraki. And then of course when he gets fused with All For One, again I do not know how that works. I feel like no matter what I ask, they're gonna give me a different answer every single time. I don't know how that works, but let's say Deku's right here, and then that's now All For One, even though All For One's already. I mean, All For One has a whole bunch of corps, so I guess I can set it kind of slide. But yeah, so All For One takes over Shigaraki, right? Let's say that. So did he take over the Shigaraki from Volume One, or the Kid Shigaraki, or both? And then like, if he saves Kid Shigaraki, does like the Shigaraki from Volume One come with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, or are we saving Volume One Shigaraki and we're just pretending he's Kid Shigaraki the entire time, even though he's not? Because it's like, again, I feel like it's just pretty. And Kimba, this is the final arc. You would think you already have the answers to these things, especially since it's dealing with the final villain. You know, you would want to know what the conflict is. And besides, Shigaraki just killing, wanting to kill Deku for one for all. Um, it's just yeah. Besides that, we know that Shigaraki's inner conflict is also a big deal, and it's just not getting touched on enough. Like I feel like the reader should know like what's going on with Shigaraki and all one for at least consistently. Because again, I feel like everyone kind of has an idea, right? Like back to the 12 example, everyone can sort of know. Okay, so he's trying to do 12, but again, we don't know how we're getting there. Are we doing 4 times 3 to get 12? 2 times 6? Like 6 times 2? Like what are we doing to get 12? Because again, if 12 is this like fusion thing, like how is it working? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just don't know. I just really don't know. But yeah, so again, it's things like this. Again, I don't think it's terrible because again, as long as we know it's 12, but as long as we know what he's trying to do, we will still just sort of like just he can like follow what he wants to do. Because the grand scheme of things is most likely trying to save Tamura, and I don't know what he's gonna do with Tamura after, but that's probably his goal. And then so we're just here to see like how it plays out. But knowing the why and how, I think, is also very important. And he's just not good at that. Because another why and how, like question I had, was with Aerie, right? Aerie's drug and All For One, and it didn't quite occur to me that I really don't know how her power works, right? And I asked some people, I got some good answers, but a lot of them were just confused. Like I mean, I'm confused, but a lot of them were like contradicting. Because one person says Aries' power is continuous, right? So it's like that means that if she uses it, you're just gonna drain. Um, yeah, you're just gonna keep draining until she makes it stop. Because like if you want to revert someone in time, right? So like let's say this is like where you want it, and then like this is like your like the time span. So someone starts here, right? They start here, and then like their power because like it's either like there's a set point or it's continuous, right? So Aerie can either use her power, be like, okay, this is you at your current like state, and I want you here. So I will like make my quirk just immediately send you here, and then we're good. Or it could be again continuous. That is like it slowly goes. Then she stops her quirk so it matches. And if she doesn't stop it, then they're gonna keep going and going and going and going. And yeah, so it could be that as in continuous, or it could be like she just like sets like where it goes. Like she's like, all right, I want to use like three. I mean, of course, assuming she mastered her quirk, she hasn't mastered her quirk yet. Even if she reverted Ferial back, she's still too young. So let's just assume that like there's a 20-year-old like version of her that mastered this quirk, right? So she knows like the ins and outs of the quirk perfectly. Can like the master of this quirk turns like if you're 10, can she just like hit you and then you're now two, or does she have to like wait until you're slowly decreasing, and then she just knows when you're two and then stops it? Like that was the question, and some people like it's 50-50. Like people are saying is continuous with people, it's not continuous, but yeah, it all comes back to the drug, right? So this drug helped AFO go back to his prime. This means a lot of things. Number one, the fact that they can even do that is kind of crazy, and that means the scientists are living up to his hype as the probably smartest character in the series and elite scientists, all that stuff. But the main problem with that is that it has the side effect of killing you. Like this drug will kill you. You will die by taking this drug, and he gives it to his master. You know, he gives it to his boss to use as his greatest creation or one of his greatest creations. A drug that kills you. And I'm just like, why would he make it kill AFO? Like surely you could have made the drug not kill him. People just trying to cope like, oh no, there's nothing he can do. Aries powers is just continuous. Unless she stops it herself, you will never stop aging, which is a good theory. I think that's a good theory. But at the same time, how does that work? Because AFO lived a long time. So let's say he lived 100 years, right? And Airy is decreasing. I mean, and he uses the drug. So he goes 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, then all the way to zero and then dies, right? Like, if that's the case, why aren't we seeing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he used the drug and then he's just in his prime. It's almost like immediate. So that kind of leans towards the like targeted, like you can target where you want it to work. And then, so it's just like, because if you target, like, okay, revert me back to my prime, and then you're good. You know what I'm saying? And then you're just your prime. But if that's the case, then why would you still die? Is it because the drug is unstable? Because it's like it's a targeted quirk, but the drug's unstable, so you die anyway. And if that's so, why did the doctor give that to freaking to AFO? You're killing him prematurely. Like it's it is the tiny things like this that's just kind of like I know what he's doing clearly because Prime AFO is most likely not losing to anybody, so like making him on a time limit so that he dies is a good way to handle AFO without actually without actually like having to fight him. But I think that's just a lazy way to just cop out. So yeah, it's like, how does it work? And then yeah, and then the more like these things were happening, the more I started to think that like there's so many instances where I ask how this happened or when did this happen? Because again, he's saying things that it's almost like you're already supposed to know, but it's never that clear. Because like I started to think it was just me, right? That maybe I just didn't fucking read. Maybe this whole time I thought I was reading my hero, I was reading something else. I was reading your hero or some shit. But no, like I asked other people, and they don't know either. So maybe we all just not reading my hero. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. I feel like he's not doing a too good of a job of just being clear. Because being clear does wonders. Like if people just know what's going on, it does wonders. And also some character moments in this arc, again, as much as I like them, just similar to the Kendall thing. Like I would like them, then you say one thing that doesn't ruin it. I don't want to say it's ruined because that's not true, but it just prevents it from reaching that upper level. It's stuck at just a really good moment or just a good moment, not that great, fantastic, and it's just the tiny lines. I'm just like, man, this does not have to be here. Like an example would be for example, Bakugo, right? Nothing wrong with making Bakugo lose to Shigaraki. Nothing wrong with that. Shigaraki is strong as hell. But when Bakugo had that line when he was just like, wait, let me quote him exactly. Hold on. What is it? 363. Yeah, I think it's 363. Oh no, 362. For the win. Right Izuku. Yeah, he dodged it. Yeah, Quirk explosion. Yeah, yeah, alright. So he's just like, so yeah, so Hakugo while fighting Shigaraki, he kind of like goes up to, like gets like a epiphany, finds like something about Shiki he could take advantage of, dodges like a move, and he's about to use like his explosion that takes like everything to do, like all like everything. And then he says this line, so Izuku, can I still catch up to you? And that line was like, look at that line, I'm just like, at what point did Bakugo feel that inferior to Deku? Like, it makes sense, you know. Like Deku was by far superior to any of these niggas. Like, I understand, but to me, Bakugo always, at least mentally, kept up with Deku. Like like Class One A and Class One B, even though it was a break ago, it wasn't too long ago in story. And like, you know, it was just MVA, which no one really leveled up in MVA. Like no one on the hero side. It was more the paranormal liberation front that like leveled up Deku after Deku was like, because even they were both even in Endeavor, training with Endeavor, and you know back in, was he feeling like inferior to Deku during the Endeavor, like or after it, or was it after the paranormal liberation front? Ooh, like I don't quite know when Bakugo was just like, all right, Deku's clear from me. Can I catch up to you, please? Like he's literally like he's asking Deku if he can catch up to him. And I'm just like, is this a Bakugo line? You know, like he never felt like the type that would ask someone else if, because like he was telling All Might, I will surpass you. Like he wasn't like, All Might, validate me, please. Can, do you think I can be stronger than you? Like he told All Might, even you. Like I'm not just gonna surpass Deki, I'll surpass you too. Like that's the kind of confidence he was moving with, and I don't even think that long ago, like he changed or something. Like so that line kind of put me off. I'm just like, why is he asking Deku if he can catch up to? Like usually, like the back of I thought I knew would just be like, no, like I will catch up to him, like or I already caught up, or you know Deku's never that far from, you know, like say something with just a lot more confidence, but something like asking him to catch up to you, that just kind of like, huh? So like, so I couldn't even like really hold this Bakugo moment to a high regard, because again, I'm so confused why that scene was there. I'm just like, why was that there? So yeah, and then this was happening with Endeavor, where, hold up, can I go back? Maybe it was 358. It's been a while, so good. Oh, where's Endeavor? So basically, Endeavor was having his like Kaneki Tokyo Ghoul moment when okay, I think it's coming. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Yeah. So in chapter 356, right? Endeavor's having his Kaneki Tokugo moment, and he. All right. Try to read the whole page. Think back on your envy toward true supreme. I mean, true. Think back on your envy toward true Superman, and your inferiority complex. He talked about All Might here, and Endeavor's doing work. You call yourself Endeavor as in hard work. We get, you know, what his name means, showing your mental nature, yes. Remember how you had to put on airs to keep that ugly heart of yours from falling to pieces. He's talking to himself. That's right. You never be All Might. I was like, or Deku. And then this when I'm like, Hori. what are we doing here? Because again, this is another one of those instances where like what he's saying and what I'm seeing are different things. Because he's saying that All Might, I mean, he's saying that Endeavor believes that he cannot reach All Might and he cannot reach Deku, right? I've seen Endeavor like basically not reach All Might, right? Like that's been a theme throughout the entire story consistently that he just can't do it, you know, and that's what makes his character like nice. That like the fact that like exploring that whole dynamic of like okay, Endeavor wants to surpass All Might, but he's just not him. You know, it's that simple. So I completely understood that. No qualms, no problems with him saying you never be All Might because it's true. But the Deku part, where did that come from? Why does Endeavor think he can't be as good of a hero as Deku? Like where? Because I understand the reader believes that because the reader sees Deku's POV. He sees Deku save Kuta and Ochako in the training and Eri and stop Gentle and all that. Like we see Deku do all these crazy things. So if the reader's like, yeah, I think Deku's a better hero than Endeavor, of course. I won't even say nothing. Yeah, that makes sense. But why would Endeavor himself believe that he's inferior to Deku? Or he would never be like Deku? Why? You know what I'm saying? Is it and then to be like, oh, maybe he heard about him saving Eri and stuff like that. Eri, in the grand scheme of things, is just a little girl, right? And I'm not saying this to downplay Deku, but it's more so think about how many other children the heroes save. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't want to quantify these things. That, oh, I saved two kids, so I'm better than you by saving one kid. No. But I'm saying more so like, don't you think Endeavor has experience with saving children as a hero? Like most likely he has saved many children throughout his career, right? And I'm not doing this as Endeavor is better than Deku, because something like that. But if he heard second hand or third hand that, oh, Deku saved Eri, right? That should not make him feel inferior, because most likely he also saved children as well. You know what I'm saying? Even if you heard about the Kota thing, again, he's most likely saved children. So it's like, then what? Because even in Endeavor's agency, Endeavor said he didn't even rate Bakugo and Deki. He said, I'm only training y'all because Toto wanted me to, or because of Toto. If Toto would just let me train him by himself, then that's what I'm doing. He said something along those lines. I hope I'm not lying. But, yeah. So, yeah, the fact that, yeah, so he puts the I'll never be as good as Deku, or you never be Deku. And again, I don't know where that's coming from. And this is another thing that I was saying in the beginning, that when it comes to Hori's dialogue, it sometimes it just doesn't add up. And the thing, and also with Aoma being the killer, I mean the traitor. Like again, there's nothing wrong with it, right? But they had this one line where Todoroki says something like, Aoma, out of everyone, you've been the most like, I forgot exactly the word he used, but I wish I could find it. It'd be better if I could find it. Wait, yeah, because it's better to read it directly. Yes, Timothy, yes, sir. On the C43. Okay, I guess it was C42. I really can't find this. Dang, can I really not find it? Hmm. I guess 341. If this ain't it, I'll probably give up. Oh, they still have twice blood. I forgot. That'd be big. It should be here somewhere. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to get at is that, um, okay, actually, it really might be this. It might be 340. Or maybe it's 339. Okay, there we go. 339. All right, wait, wait, wait. All right. I have faith that Ayoma will come back to us. Bakugo, assuming he ain't ran by some kind of curse, and then Todoroki, I think it will be fine because he has always had his sights set on the man he wants to be more than any of us. What does that mean? Like, if anyone can tell me what that means, please do. Because what does that mean? That's the most vague sentence I've ever seen. That's like just straight up filler. Like Hori just did not know what to say, so he just said that. Cause seeing that more than Bakugo, Deku, Todoroki, Momo, like anyone you can name, Ayoma had his he always had his sights set on the man he wants to be more than any of us. Like, of course, I just think that's just a filler comment. Toto just says to gas him up. But like, why would Hori make us read that? You know, like, why did we have to? Like, why did he say that? Because did Todoroki mean this? Like, what do you mean Ayoma had always had his sights set on the man he wants to be? And then on top of that, he said more than any of us. So he's just like, thank you. When whoever you wanted to, well, I don't want to again misconstrue his words, so I'll just keep repeating exactly what it says. So thank you. Like what you thought you wanted to be, like your sights, like who you said you wanted to be, Ayoma. I'd always had a sights set on who he wants to be more than like you, me, anybody, and that's just like the kind of dialogue that's like, again, what does this mean? Because like before he said this, would anyone have guessed that? Like, if anyone had to say, all right, describe Ayoma, like, would as a character, what do you think he like? How do you think he is? Like, do you think he's looking towards the future? Do you think he knows what he wants to become? Yada yada yada. I don't think anyone will answer even close to what Todoroki said here. That Ayoma seems like he always has his sights set on the person he wants to be more than anyone in the class. It's like it's just ran. And keep in mind, this is the trader plot line. Like this is a big plot line, and this is the kind of dialogue we're getting. So again, that's what I'm saying. That I'm not saying all this to say, oh, my hero is bad, it's trash, yada yada yada. But at the same time, this kind of again, it doesn't ascend the series. It really for me, it's like it's good, but it doesn't just reach that next level because things like this just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. And another thing is that nobody spoke on the Shiggy thing. There was something I was wanted to speak on when it comes to the dialogue. Oh yeah, the Muriel thing. I know it's supposed to be a joke, but like, honestly, let me just go back to the chapter because I felt like this was just heinous. Like, where we had no business doing this, man. Oh no, okay. There's 366. All right, so we all know Mirio at one point was said to be stronger than Endeavor, and then Horby just kind of ditched that idea like pretty quickly. He said, "Nah, nah, nah." JK guys, I was kidding, but yeah, because Miro and this Shigaraki fight, I have to go back. I'm pretty sure and I remember him tossing Bakugo maybe to Best Genius. So he was helping out, like receiving people stuff like that. But when it comes to actually doing damage on Shiggy, I mean, no one was doing damage. It's not like I'm blaming Mirio. Like, oh, you can do damage, Mirio. Like no one is doing damage. But um, yeah. So like everyone is just getting like fucked up, right? And it's hard to hit Mirio because he can phase. So as everyone's getting captured, Ferio is like he's seen everyone just like dying on the floor. He's like, damn it, is this it? Is this really? And then he has a flashback to Night Eye on his dying bed, like Night Eye on his deathbed. You'll make a fine hero. And then back to the mirror quote: Is this the future you saw for me, Night Eye? Like we're getting an emotional moment here because Night Eye to Muriel was that nigga. Like Night Eye was that nigga, and yeah, so Mira's recalling his like savior, like his teacher's like dying words of encouragement, like, "Hey, you will be that guy, dude." Like, and then yeah, just 2 seconds, keep him busy for 2 seconds, and Imperio's like, um, "How do I? What can I do?" And then quoting, and then here's a quote: "Dad, you have something." I'm pretty sure Shiggy said that, and then Amira was like, "Ignoring me." No, hang on. Right now, I need to keep his attention on me. But how? What do I even have in my arsenal? Again, flashback to Night Eye, and he's like, and then, and then he finishes the quote when Night Eye just like, "You make a fine hero, so keep smiling. A world without smiles and humor has no, and then bright future." But to like carry on with like the words, Miro just like this is like full moon rising tonight, and it shows his ass. Like full moon, double cheeked. Like, oh, hilarious. And then Shigaraki just like, what the hell? Got distracted for 2 seconds. Deku comes in, and then we good. So again, it's supposed to be a joke scene. So like, the more you talk about it, the more like, oh my god, this guy took it so seriously. What the heck? But at the same time, Miro is a very important character. At one point, people said he should be the main character. Like, that's how vicious the streets got when Mirio was popping off. And again, Night Eye died for him. Endeavor, he was supposed to get all for one. I mean, one for all. Like, that's how crazy it was. He was supposed to get one for all. Like, it was wild out here. So, yeah, and then so I'm thinking, I'm reading this, I'm seeing Night Eye's dying words. Miro just like, is this it? What do I have in my arsenal? Like, what can I possibly do to like turn the tides? Like my power. Like I'm thinking he's gonna revisit his power. Maybe because of Night Eye, he's gonna like maybe get a new angle of how to use his power, and then do something to kind of like make Shiggy, really like, distract Shiggy. Not showing your ass. Like showing your ass is something anyone can do. I'm like, dog, man. And again, I get it. It's a joke. Come home to a sermon. EK was good, bro. Yeah, we be an hour deep. I didn't even want it to make it this long, but um, yeah. So yeah, so you would think that this moment, I even caught up. Tori, bro, you good, bro. Honestly, just wait till it's over. You good. But yeah, so you would think Mario, like, this is such a great moment to kind of cap off his character. Like everything he has done up to this point led up to this, and I'll say Oda is very good at this. Like he would, like, there'd be like a side character, right? That's going through like his character plot line, and then like they will get that one amazing moment that just caps off everything they did. Like this is the it moment. Like you did it. You won. Congrats. Like that kind of thing. And you think Mario would have that moment here because if Mario was to do some crazy new thing to kind of like stop Shiggy, it's just 2 seconds. Stop him for 2 seconds, and then now Deki can come save the day. That's a great way to be like, yeah, he like it was worth it for Mario to go through all this yada yada yada. But for him to just again show his ass and then that distracts Shiggy. Of course, that kind of gives shades to the Kaguya reverse Harem no Jutsu from Naruto. But like that's it. Because then, if anything, that kind of demeans Mirio's character a bit. Because if you look back, where did Mirio peak? Because if he didn't peak here, because he was technically supposed to peak here. If he didn't peak here, then that means he peaked in his introduction, like the first arc, and then that's kind of like why, like why would what I'm saying, like is this what we're doing? And again, these things aren't stuff that like ruin the story, not at all, but it doesn't elevate it in any way. Like I feel like he holds himself back because most people will give like again. I didn't say I needed a power up, right? But like that's the like loophole or the gateway that person gets frustrated, don't know what to do, yada yada yada. Get some good flashbacks. They now start thinking in new ways. Boom, get a power up that helps, and then we good. You know what I'm saying? But again, showing your ass, it's like I don't know who laughed. Actually, probably all the 12-year-olds like laughed at it. So I can hate it, but again, that mirror scene is like Mirror is such an important character, man. Like that was such a what's gonna save you from these books gonna save you from these kind of conclusions. Hey, bro. Sun Eater, Mirror both peaked in the same arc sets. Like yeah, Sun Eater too. I mean, cause like I'm focusing more on like the dialogue. So with Sun Eater, they were gassing Sun Eater. Mirror introduction was gas. It was definitely gas, and like he was. That's what I'm saying. Like these are good characters, but like in this final arc, they're not doing nothing. I'm not saying they're not doing nothing. I mean, technically they really didn't do much, but it's not more so their fault. Yeah, when he was cause my nails on my knees. Yeah, like again, very important character, right? You would think that he would get a good conclusion. It's not like his character's over. Actually, no, his character's basically over. There's nothing else he can do. But again, stalling for 2 seconds, like because like this could have been like a Usopp versus Sugar kind of scene. You know what I'm saying? Sugar about to finesse Law and Luffy. Usopp's the only one that can save. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. That's like in the grand scheme of thing, it wasn't nothing too crazy. But all the BS Usopp had to go through in that arc led to that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, yeah, I can take this. Like this was fine. But again, Mario and Sun Eater not. I mean, I won't talk about Sun Eater too much. Hard job with this art. Alright, God. But Kakashi rule. Yeah, Mario, man. It should have just been better. And again, in this equipment. Yeah, like Pasty EK. So far, I basically just went through the Kendo thing about the Kendo dialogue we talked about. Eri, like Eri's powers, like Tori, bro. No one knows how Eri's powers work. It's kind of wild. Eri's powers, Shigaraki. Oh my goodness, they butchered him. But yeah, it's like I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, I guess I did mention Night Eye, and for Night Eye, well, didn't use her at all. No, they did use her. It's just that they made All For One use her. I mean, not her, like her quirk. But like the way he's using it is kind of different than the way everyone else used it. And then that's why I'm just like, how does it work then? Because the way everyone else is using it is different than the way he's using it. And like everyone's saying, oh, they think her quirk is continuous, right? That like if she uses it when you're like 10 years old, right? You shrink to like 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, then 5, then 4. Or if her quirk is just like instant, like it's a targeted, like if you're 10 and she wants you to be 4, she just like shrinks you, then you just go to 4. Or does she have to like, is it like continuous until you reach 4, then she stops the quirk? Like they're like debating like which one is it? Because like the way AFO is implying that it works is that like it's just continuous, that it's just gonna keep going till he dies. And I'm just like, what the hell? Why use it? Like, but anyway, it's just kind of weird how some things work. But I want to go back to this Night Eye scene because another thing, yeah, it's very important and it's not clear. No one knows. I feel like, yeah, because the thing is, they said she kept trying to like, yeah, that's true. If it's like with how she healed Deku continuous makes, and that's the thing too. Like I'm wondering if I'm the one that's thinking too hard. Like if Hori actually thinks about these things because it doesn't sometimes this doesn't make sense. But yeah, with how she healed Deku, that's thinking too. Yeah, with how she healed Deku, you would think it's continuous, but wouldn't it like when your bones break, right? Like that healing time it takes to like heal, wouldn't continuous make it hurt more? Like, cause like if it's like your bone breaks, then they instantly get fixed, and then like breaks instantly get fixed. Like the time, I don't know. I felt like if she just instantly kept resetting to like, yeah, it's like because if it's continuous, then it's like wouldn't it take longer to like reset each time since you have to wait for the bones to like heal, then breaks again, then wait to heal instead of like jumping back and forth. But Ari was tortured through her quirk as well. So you said like tortured. What do you mean by like tortured through her quirk? Because like when they use it in the drugs, it instantly wipes your thing. It's not like you slowly lose your quirk. When she's actually used her for experiments. Yeah, because her blood kind of. Mm, no, I just meant this. Oh, just the okay, just the experiments. I don't know that. Man, and this is what I'm saying that like we all know how it works, right? Because like I was saying that like if the concept is like one thing, right? We all know like what it is, but we don't know how he got there, and like everything's the right answer. You know, like again, I if it's like I use the example of like 12, right? Like if Eri being able to heal, right? Like with using a crit to heal is like 12. How do we get 12, right? Like it's what we doing like if continuous is like 3 times 4, that's 12. 2 times 6, that's 12 too. 6 plus 6, that's also 12. 10 plus 2, that's also 12. But like you can't use all of them to get 12. I mean, like he's using like a specific way to do it to like get the goal, but no one knows what way he's doing it in. And I'm just like, does it even matter? Like again, is he even thinking about these kind of things? Like I'm not too sure. And again, I think I'm just thinking too hard about it, but I don't think it's that deep. Like anyone would just say, hell nah, he not. Dude, but isn't this like basic shit though? It's like I can like everyone that heals like explains like even in Bleach or he may says, bro, I just rewind time. Like I just fucking like rewind time back, and then you good. Like they just explain it. You know, like everyone does it. Like I don't get why people do not know how this works, and I don't get why I'm also part of that people. Raise up front. Hey, chill, but are we still Eraserhead? Nah, I mean Eraserhead, bro. He already what got his arms cut off or was his leg? I think it's his leg. Yeah, he got like his leg cut off and all that. And his quirk is still useful. His quirk is the reason why they're not instantly dying. So this is what it is. He just can't get no highlights. That's just it. Okay, Chada's still alive. All right, wait. Man, they're just sitting. He's making Panama use his quirk. Not like yeah, he's out of commission. Yeah, I'm trying to find when Night Eye. The commission guy chill at home. Nah, but he needed his quirk for Pranama to copy it. Bro, where did Night Eye die? Is it 149? Okay, alright. Yeah, pretty much EK. Sit there. Can't believe I can't find this panel. Goodness. That's really lame for final boss fight contribution. That is true. He is indeed lame. Oh my goodness, this is kind of pissing me off. Where the night I die? Because tie dye says like a line that I want to talk about. Getting that to safety. Oh my goodness, I might just give up. I'm not gonna hold you on. All right, so basically, I just wanted to. See, it's better if I have the exact code though. Uh, maybe I'll just Google it. Oh yeah, I'm googling it. All right. Okay, there you go. 154. All right. I swear I was at 154. Come on, bro. You what? It's big. Why is it just black? Did they just take it out? Well, anyway, I couldn't find a quote, but yeah, China basically just like goes into detail about how he couldn't like he used his powers on Chisaki, and I just talk about how like they couldn't win because like they're supposed to die and all that. But I'm checking the wiki now because I really want to get like a good quote here because I'm definitely gonna mess it up if I just say it. Yeah, man, the wiki's not that good. Well, regardless, yeah, that dialogue there. I wish I could actually find um like the future, but yeah, like basically Hori set it up in a way where his court can't lie. Like status court cannot lie, and he tried to create fake hype. He tried to create fake hype by saying, "Oh, tie dye, he uses quirk that cannot lie and says he says something on the lines that they lose. You know, they lose. You know, they will die. Yada yada yada. And then yeah, and then clearly that didn't happen. Teki breaks it because I've got the reasoning he gave, like the energy of everyone, their beliefs and all that, kind of like mm, made them win and break the quirk, which again doesn't need. It's like again, it's stuff like this. That's like he didn't have to put that there, right? Like if they just won without Nada using his quirk and Deku breaking it, like Deku could win without breaking Nada's quirk. Like we didn't really need that, but he puts that in there just to show that everyone believing in Deku is just so strong it can break something that has never been broken before. Even though Nada is a grown man that's used his quirk for so long, right? Like there's really no reason to believe that like his quirk will ever be wrong. Like he really practiced it, and he probably like he probably used his quirk on like things that are very easy to change, and it just and you know he still couldn't change it. That's why he believed that it was just unchangeable. But actually, wait, maybe he said it in 153. The big L. I really can't find it. That really stinks. Yeah, there's just a black screen. Like, did they just block it out? Did it retcon it? All right, 154. Wait, let me try Manga Dex. Hold up, because they actually would have just blocked it out, dog. Hold on, it just blacked out. Okay, well, regardless though, we all know that again, Bad Future that Seku changed, and I just didn't think that needed to be there. You know, so I'm thinking, what else? Kind of. Oh, and another big thing was Ochako and Toga. I don't think, of course, we all know that they're paired together a lot because they both like Deku, and I do wish there was like a deeper reason, but it's what it is. It's not that big of a deal. But when they fought in the what's the paranormal arc, the paranormal liberation arc, their talk never gets talked about. Like no one ever references anything Toga or Ochako said in that like fight because again, I don't think they kind of said anything or anything worth saying. You know, they just um I mean, I guess I could go back to it, but again, I don't think no dialogue there I felt like was worth just discussing again. And I felt like that was a big moment for Hori to kind of step up and kind of show his chops with just dialogue. Because Ochako and Toga is having a 1v1. Toga just lost twice, and Ochako has witnessed like Night Eye dying and stuff like that. So you're kind of like, okay, um, let's see where uh, like to see how Hori kind of gets his dialogue going. But again, I don't feel like Toga or Ochako really said anything, and it's not like I need a big change from them after the talk. But I don't know. I feel like if you took that scene out, nothing would change in the story, you know. So it's like, and those kind of talks that are set up in that way shouldn't be like that, So that's like another thing that was kind of like fucking me a bit. But yeah, outside of that, I would say Endeavor was definitely the best piece, just in general. Like I did mention him saying that like I won't be better than All Might and Deku. Like that's just a small thing, but overall, I think Endeavor has been handled like just great. Like he never misses a step with Endeavor, and that's good. Todo has also been like pretty good. He don't really like say dialogue that kind of like makes me mad or piss me off. Anything. I think Toto was handled well. Again, I showed you how back ago, like his line was just whatever. But yeah, the Toto versus Dabi was good. Um, what else? Miracle and the Pro Heroes. They don't really have dialogue. Oh yeah, the headshot thing. I did kind of really talk about it. So I won't get into it too much. But again, headshot definitely should have had experience with like kids already dying, and people were saying it's literally because Deku likes Bakugo a lot. Childhood friends. Well, childhood friends. So keeping Bakugo alive is obviously good for the team because you want Deku to be sane when he fights. So it's like saving Bakugo for that reason, I guess, makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, man, man, that's it. It's like I feel like there should be more there, and that too. Uh, I feel like Best Genius and Bakugo needed to have more, because of course Todoroki and Endeavor always had their thing throughout the entire story. Deku with all his teachers. I feel like there's more of a connection of Deku and Night Eye than Bakugo and Best Genius. Not like on paper, but like from what we've seen as readers. Like I feel like we don't get nearly like enough or a good or heavy Bakugo and Best Genius like scene. And it's like I don't know. I feel like that needed to be there. But what else? Yeah, I already talked about how confusing AFO and Shigaraki is. Like, people do not know what's going on, dog. I'm one of them. You just do not know what's going on with them. And I don't even think it will get better, honestly. Because I feel like the Tomorrow thing will make it even more, like, make it even more distorted. Because it's like, is he, like, separating AFO from Shiggy? Or is Deku separating AFO from Shiggy? Or is he separating, like the Kid Shiggy from Shiggy. Like we're like Kid Shiggy is definitely the goal here, right? I'm pretty sure. So it's like where are we like taking Kid Shiggy from? Are we saving him from AFO or are we saving him from like himself? Like are we saving him from a Shiggy that Shiggy deep down is this innocent kid, yada yada yada, we have to save him. Like is that the path we're going or from AFO? Because AFO was not a thing. Again, I mentioned this earlier. AFO was not a thing in the first few volumes. You know what I'm saying? Like that was all Shiggy. So it's like, what about that guy? Like, does that guy have to pay for his crime, or is it like I don't know. It's all up in the air. Yeah, it's all up in the air. But yeah, that pretty much also wraps up most of what I was gonna say. Um, Yeah. So overall, again, I read My Hero. Like I think it's a good series. Pretty fire. I don't say fire. It's pretty good. Definitely could be better because I feel like all those things I named, if that was just improved on, like it's the tiny things. You know, they're all built up like on each other. Like if you know the AFO and Shiki thing was much clearer, that would like almost save the arc. Honestly, um, if Shiggy felt like he was just improving more as a character, if Mario, the full moon showing his ass thing, that's kind of like if he had like an amazing moment, you know, again, like Tamaki tried. It's hard to say that they should have hurt Shiggy because Shiggy's just too strong, but. That's why I want to focus more on Mario because I think the showing the ass thing is just heinous. There's just no reason for him to be doing that. But yeah, like that never should have said that one line, but it's fine. Bakugo, yeah, I feel like that Bakugo line was just too much. Like, why? Like again, the scene was good, but like it doesn't just fit Bakugo. I don't know where that's coming from. And again, the Kendo thing, if that was done a bit better. Sadai, I think that I should have used his quirk at all. I get why, but and then having not only did he use his quirk by he's breaking his rules to use his quirk, but those have the quirk just lie. It's like dog, the quirk doesn't lie. You established that, and then you broke it. It's like whatever, man. But yeah, oh, and Aries power is really needed. Um, I feel like Aries power is needed to just be explained a bit more. I know it's hard because like Ari doesn't even know how it works, and even Chisaki didn't know how it works. So like, who would explain it? Hori, you like I mean Gaka himself. You should explain it. But yeah, I mean that's again. I think that might just wrap up. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything because I don't want to make like another one of these anytime soon. I will make a separate vid on Shigaraki's dad. I wanted to talk about him, but yeah, sort of. Oh yeah, and then All Might also not getting access to like the vestiges, but like Deku getting access to it. I think the explanation he actually gave was the fact that it gets stronger each time. So like when it reached to like Deku's, it was strong enough that like you could actually call upon like the previous ones. Whereas All Might, it wasn't that strong. Yeah, it was strong but not that strong. I think that's how he's going with it. But honestly, he be winging it sometimes, man. I really do feel like he doesn't think about certain of the. And that's not to slander, because he has all the concepts down. Like he knows. He's all right. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. So he does it. But sometimes the how he does it or the why he does it is a bit like blended together. Like you don't really know how he's doing it. He's just doing it. And some people care about the how. Like I'm some people. I do like to know the how, because these kind of things I want to know how it's being done. It's really that simple. And to not get that, it's like so unfortunate, man. I really wish we could have got that. That's big. But let's probably talk about what I'm looking forward to, right? Um, Bakugo's probably out of commission, so not him. We're probably just gonna get Deku and Shiggy for a while. Again, I'm not mad at it. Deku had Gear Shift now. I really like Gear Shift. Um, yeah, I guess Deku versus Shiggy. The Spinner Shoji thing, I'm not too keen on again because Shoji's already saying these lines that just don't make sense. But um, thinking, then yeah, because the AFO storyline, I'm not too interested in. No, actually, they said AFO is coming to get Shiggy, or he's going to free Shiggy, something like that. Maybe I don't know exactly what he means, but I might be looking forward to that. Of course, Deku versus Shiggy. Not really looking forward to Shiggy being saved. That Tomorrow thing, I'm dreading that day, honestly. But yeah, Deku versus Shiggy. AFO coming to help Shiggy. Is there any side storylines that are good right now? Ochako versus Toga? Not really. Gabby stuff. Maybe we might get just some random like class stuff, like kind of like how we just randomly got like this shoji thing. Hopefully, we get some more prominent characters get that. But I know a bunch of them is helping out with like maintaining like the force field and battery. Man, it's hmm. It feels like this arc is doing a lot and not enough at the same time. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my general thoughts. Yeah, I just had to get that off my chest because again, it's hard to fit these in like tweets. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to fit them in tweets. But yeah, like again, this is a 400 chapter story or almost 400 chapter story. Lots to talk about. I know this went way longer than I wanted to, but again, it's like 300 with 70 chapters. Like I can't just talk about that for 10 minutes. I mean, I can, but it's not gonna. You won't really get my point. So yeah, like that's about it. Hopefully, I feel like this fight needs to not this fight. This arc needs to end pretty promising or ends like well, or is it gonna be forgotten? I think it's gonna be one of the many arcs that just get forgotten because what will people remember from this arc? I think they're gonna remember the Dabi and Shoto, the Endeavor stuff, the Deku stuff. Honestly, I don't even think people are gonna remember the, Tamaki and Mirio and like all that. I really just think people's memories will just skip to when Deku shows up, because again, they're highlights, right? When it comes to character highlights, like moments and stuff like that, I just don't think it was there. And again, it's not like I wanted. I mean, I do want it to be there, but I'm not really like mad that they couldn't do much to Shiggy. Again, it makes sense. It was more the Mirror Moon thing. I just felt like he should have got something else, something more serious. But yeah, again, the arc, like the Toga, the Chaco, like so far, nothing. Maybe something crazy will happen later down the line, but yeah, so far it's really just. I guess Trader revealed that was right before the arc though. But yeah, just the awful one and Endeavor. Honestly, people even remember the Jiro stuff. I think I would, but like in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Jiro kind of did her thing. It's not like I hate it. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the Jiro thing. Jiro thing was terrible, dude. They had Jiro do this scream, and then like, and there's another thing about like how Hori, like what he says and what he does are so different, because they had Jiro do the scream, and then his quirks started acting up right after the scream. Like the scream hits him, and his quirks start like fighting back, and all four's like, what's going on? My quirks are rebelling against me. Not even New Order did this. Like he talked about New Order based on like what just happened. And then the next chapter, Hori retcons it by saying, "Oh, I thought Jiro did it, but no, it was just a coincidence that my quirks naturally started acting up out of nowhere right when she hit me." Like, duh. I'm just like, why was that timed so perfectly? Like your quirk would randomly act up like at like 3 o'clock, and at 2:59, Jiro happened to do her attack, and as soon as it turned 3, then your quirk was already scheduled to act up. Like if Jiro waited like 10 seconds to do the attack, it would have acted up before she did it. Like that's what you're trying to tell me? I don't buy it. I really do not buy it. And of course, since he put it on paper, people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, see, I told y'all." Just was like, bro, he's doing this on purpose, because there is no way you're gonna tell me that Jiro did that attack and then it literally like hit him, and then immediately the next panel, Cork starts acting up, going crazy, to start rebelling, and then he even mentions First Order. He didn't even have to mention First Order. He would have been confused, like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Stuff like that. But he just, oh, Jiro's doing this to me. Oh, First Order couldn't do this to me. Like he's really talking, like he's almost confirming like what's going on. And then again, um, yeah, for what's going on, and then he tries to retcon and be slick a little bit. Oh no, this is just a natural thing, y'all. Like Jiro didn't do it. And I was like, nah, you probably thought about it and you thought you saw how ass it was, and you was like, all right, I fucked up. Let me just retcon real quick. Because again, there's no way you're gonna make me believe that um, that was just like random chance. Because it's just not true. Yeah, so that Jiro thing, hell no, please. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know what else happened. Yeah, them powering up the batteries and stuff. It's okay. Yeah, it's really just Deku and Shiggy. honestly, I don't even think people go remember the Bakugo stuff. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like if you give it like when the series is finished, give it like a few months, maybe a year, and then you're thinking back to the final arc. I don't even think they'll remember that those Bakugo chapters, those 2 3 Bakugo chapters. They might remember his heart being exploded, but like Bakugo like actively fighting Shiggy, like what panels will show up in their head. I don't think so. I really don't think so. So it's like it's stuff like this where I'm just like he needs to nail the ending. The ending needs to be nailed. Like he needs to just all right ending. Like we good because if he doesn't, man, it's gonna get rough. So yeah, I mean yeah, that's about it. I already talked about my expectations, and again, he needs to know this ending because I feel like this arc can definitely still be saved. There's a lot going on. He just gotta work. He just gotta work. Give good scenes and all that. He can still get off as a good arc. But I feel like right now it's good enough. It's like it's good enough. It's not really like an arc. I feel like people in a few months would like actively praise. Which is, it wasn't that bad. That kind of arc. Which again, it's not like a bad thing, but Hori should be on a higher standard. He should be nice. He should be nice. I mean, he is nice, but he should be nicer. So I'm thinking what else. That should be it. Because I'm not doing another one of these for a while. I mean, not for my hero. Maybe for something else. But this is kind of slight. But I did want to mention out in the beginning how Ochako, when she's talking to Deku, immediately put herself below him. When she talked about like, oh, I want to be a cool hero just like Deku, right? So in her head, Deku's already the super cool hero to her, and then she's here and she has to reach his level, which I think that we didn't see enough for her to say that. Because of course Deku saved her life, right? Immediately, oh, but Deku saved her life. Of course you think that, yeah. But Deku, actually no, Deku did kind of put a lot of people over him, but not to that degree of Ochako. Because yeah, Deku saved Ochako's life, and I'm not trying to downplay that at all. But remember what happened when Deku was falling like 300 feet from the air, right? About to die. Then Ochaku saves him. Oh, snap. They both saved each other's lives. And I think she got the second most hero points after Deku. Or like rescue points, yeah. Second most rescue points after Deku. Like, Ochako was out here rescuing. Like, it wasn't just Deku. The, the Deku got the most rescue points. Ochako got the second most. At least that's what I think I remember. And then even in the Izawa training stuff, Ochako was getting like infinites on some of them because of how her powers work. So like Ochako had no reason to believe that Deku outclassed her. Like the only thing again would be Deku saving her from the robot, but she saved him from falling 300 feet. So if anything, this should be even, right? Or she could be like, all right, we're even. We both saved each other. But he didn't like you could say she saved Deku because Deku saved her. So the fact that he did it first, showed that he had a bit more of that heroism in him, which is cool. But I still don't think she needed to just immediately just okay, Deku's clear for me. That was unnecessary. I don't think we kind of saw enough to do that, and of course that led to her always being like second place to Deku, or always being or seeing him like just way too high, and I just didn't feel like Deku warranted that. And also there's one more thing about this. What to say? Was it? Well, with Momo, I get her insecurities. Like she's a kid. It makes sense. But I feel like it's a very common trope that didn't, because like out of all the like students that got invited, like the mud guy from class B, the Tizzer girl from class B, Todoroki, and Momo, she was by far the least mentally like stable. Like and the thing is, she had such a good first impression, such a great power. Like I feel like, because like the worst thing she did was just lose to Tokiyami, and Tokiyami just attacked her like instantly before she could even get like a shield out. So it's like I don't think it's that bad of that bad of a deal. I mean, like I don't think it was that bad because she's acing all the tests. She's just by far the smartest. Um, yeah, acing all the tests, by far the smartest. Um, Using her power in a crazy cool way. I feel like she had so much going for her, but of course she's still insecure because she thought Toto just freezing niggas was just the coolest thing ever, and she's not nearly as cool. And I'm just like I guess, like I get it, I do get why. Like it's not. I'm not saying it does not make sense. I'm just saying it's just unfortunate that like she had to go down that route because I don't think she had to because like it's because like even Bakugo felt insecure after seeing Toto, but he kind of kept it to himself and just like okay, like I'm gonna just I'm gonna just get stronger, I'm gonna just get better, and then he ends up winning the sports festival right after. It's like you know what I'm saying, like dude, that's crazy. And then with Momo, she just like was like on a downward train until finally she picked it up after she teamed up with Toto. So um, yeah, so yeah. Apart from those two, I think that's it. I think that's it. So yeah. So overall, Kobe's dialogue is good. Like just like the normal conversations. I like the talk with Jiro's parents when Jiro's parents explained to her why her wanting to be a hero doesn't like hurt them or they're not disappointed in her because you know it doesn't matter to them as long as she's happy, they're happy. Stuff like that. And Dexter's dialogue with his mom is usually pretty good too. So and All Might has some decent dialogue. Like this is overall good dialogue, but I feel like when it comes to the character moments, when it comes to the moments where you're supposed to care the most about these characters, it kind of I won't say it falls apart, but in some key instances it falls apart, or it doesn't like make it ascend. If anything, it like makes you dock points. It's still good, but instead of the dialogue like making it ascend the scene, it actually makes the scene a bit more confusing, or it actually makes you dock points from the scene itself. And yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Like there are a lot of series where the dialogue just doesn't do that. The dialogue doesn't really ascend the scene, but it definitely doesn't make it dark points, and it definitely doesn't confuse you. I feel like Hori makes a lot of confusion with his dialogue, and it makes you dark points. And again, it should not be confusing. You just be clear and be direct. That's all it takes. Clear and direct never fails ever. And yeah, again, there's a lot of dialogue again that doesn't like enhance a scene, but to make it worse, because the examples I was showing you again was kind of making the scenes worse in my opinion. Like these scenes were like actively getting worse because of like the dialogue, and I don't think it's supposed to dialogue's supposed to do that. So um yeah, so again, the dialogue is the biggest thing, man. And I guess like the fights could be a bit better, but I'm fine with the fights. Like the Shoto Dappy one was nice. I really like that one. But yeah, dialogue definitely needs work. Yeah, I think because like the stuff I'm because I was going to say like some character moments and yada yada, but that all comes back to dialogue. And I guess Bakugo should just fight more because Bakugo has like no villain fights, like a 1v1 villain fight, and that's just weird. But yeah, outside of that, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. I think we're good. But yeah, so that's basically my general thoughts on my hero. Again, I think he needs to nail the ending. Ending got to be nailed. Um, Only really looking forward to Deki versus Shiggy. When Airfo reunites with Shiggy. And the non-Deki storylines, Shoji stuff not really, Ochako stuff not really. And everyone else is kind of out of commission. Rebecca out of commission. Um, Izawa out of commission. Mary out of commission. Well, Mary's not really out of commission, but like the big three, like Tamaki and them out of commission. So yeah, I mean, I guess Endeavor. I don't see what Endeavor's up to. Endeavor almost never misses. So I'm trying to see what Endeavor's up to. But outside of that, man, I think we good. I really do think we good. So yeah, thanks for coming through. I appreciate it, and yeah, I just had to get those thoughts off. Again, I didn't want to make it this long, but this is again a very long series, so it's like I can't just just brush over some things. Or I have to make a part two. I'm not making a part two. I'm getting this off now. We good. But yeah, that's about it. Catch y'all later. Appreciate those that coming through, and yeah, see y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be it.